Okay, so let's try this again. So if we haven't met before, if we haven't chatted, if we haven't seen each other in person, my name is Candy Conant, and I am the owner of My Back Office Coach. And I love to call myself a master bookkeeper because I've been doing this for over 25 years, working with small businesses of all shapes and sizes, in person, online, brick and mortar, service only, product based, all of the things. So it's what I have done for these over 25 years, and it's what I love. I love working with small businesses. I like digging in, learning about the ins and the outs and what they need in their business, and then helping them to organize the numbers, the papers, all the receipts, and make sense of all of this number stuff. I know that most owners of small businesses, they're not skilled in the bookkeeping side of things. They're not skilled in the numbers, the finances. They often don't know how to even read or understand a profit and loss. And those are all important things that people need to know when they're in business. And sometimes I see this often with my clients. They feel inferior, they feel bad, they feel guilty that they don't know and understand this stuff. And it's not, it's your responsibility to find the right people to help you figure it out and understand it. No one expects you to come into business knowing this stuff. It's, like I said, you're an expert in your field, whatever it is you may do, whether it's selling hot dogs or it's selling mittens on Etsy or coaching people in life coaching. The back side of it, the bookkeeping, that's not the natural part for most business owners, and you want to do the part that you love, right? My business is bookkeeping, so I want to do the part that I love. If your business is selling mittens on Etsy, that's what you love. You love making mittens and you like selling lots of them. However, it's very important to understand where your money's coming from and where it is going, because it's empowering. That's what I'm trying to teach small business owners, that it's empowering to know where your money's coming from and where it's going so that you can plan better. And this applies to everyone. It doesn't matter if you have a CPA, if you have a bookkeeper, if your aunt's husband's cousin's brother is doing your books for you, it just doesn't matter. You still need to know this stuff. And I always tell people, you should start out doing this stuff yourself. You really should, because that is how you're going to get to know the information. It's how you're going to understand it, and you're going to know then what someone else should be telling you. Then you're going to know that when a bookkeeper tells you these are the numbers, here's the income, here's your profit and loss, and you look at it, you're going to know what it means. And you're going to be able to look at the breakdown of income, and you're going to be able to say, geez, I better sell more of that because I'm making a lot of money on that thing. Or maybe I need to niche this, scratch this thing over here because I just didn't sell that many of them and it's really time consuming. So why am I knocking myself out trying to sell more of those? Looking at your expenses and saying, wow, my electric bill seems to be out of whack. What the heck? I need to check into this. I need to figure out, why am I spending so much money on electric? This stuff is all really important. And it's empowering to be able to plan for the future. Maybe you're looking at major decisions, for 2020. Here we are in the fourth quarter. It's almost Thanksgiving. Can you believe this? I can't believe it. So maybe you have some big decisions to make as to how you want to take your business in 2020. Well, how can you do that if you don't know what you did in 2019? And if you wait till the last minute, right when taxes are due, and you're scrambling and you're throwing all this stuff together just to get your taxes done, and you don't know what the numbers really are. You don't have time to stop and look at them because you're in a rush and you got to get the taxes done by the deadline. You need that. Then it's too late. We want to look ahead. We want to use the numbers to project, to plan, to make the business better in the coming year. Okay, so that's my little soapbox message. You can tell that's what I get wound up about. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I love doing with people. And that is why we're here today. So hopefully you can see my screen. It looks like somebody's watching. I'm not sure who. Hopefully you can see my screen with the spreadsheet on it. If you're watching, let me know. If you've just joined, whether you're live or you're catching the 24-hour replay, throw me a comment. Let me know you were here, and tell me what your business is. You don't have to tell me the name if you don't want. Feel free to throw in a link, though, to your business name if you want, or to your business page. Tell me a little bit about where you are and what you do. Okay, so we're going to jump in. Hopefully, oh, it looks like maybe Jenny is watching. If that's you, Jenny, thank you for being here, number one. And number two, let me know if you can see my screen. I believe I have this set up so that you can see me in a little box and you can see my screen, I hope, if I've done my tech work right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and forge ahead. So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about choosing a system that works for your business. So this really throws a lot of people. I talk to people all the time, and I feel terrible because they feel like they have to do what everyone else is doing. So here's the deal. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to do what the Smiths on the corner are doing. You don't have to do what your best friend said you should do, unless your best friend knows what they're talking about. If they do, then do what they suggest and then make them help you set it up and figure it out. No, so in all seriousness, my point is, and this is, I tell people this all the time, and it's a discussion that we've had in depth in my Business Numbers Academy, because we have all different businesses in there, and it's something that people really get stuck on. So I know people who jump into, they're getting started and they're like, I know I need a system, I know I have to pick something, what should I pick? And they kind of jump into grabbing a system that, let me see what I got going on over here. It looks funny. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for being here. If you could let me know, I'm hoping you can see my screen here with this spreadsheet, the easy peasy spreadsheet on the screen. Just let me know. And Nikki, feel free to throw in a link to your business and let us know where you're at, where you're watching from. It is snowing heavily outside my window, believe it or not. I'm in northern Michigan. So anyway, let's get back to systems. That's where we're at here. So this is a discussion where I see people get stuck all the time. And we have discussed it several times in Business Numbers Academy because it is a big deal. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it really is, because people, they're getting started and they know they need that system. They know they need some kind of system, but they're not sure what. And so they start asking around, what do you use? What do you use? Tell me what you use, And people say, whatever their thing is. QuickBooks is very popular, and I train people on QuickBooks all the time. I set QuickBooks up for people all the time. But if I see someone going to QuickBooks and I really feel like they're frustrated, they're kind of freaking out, and they feel like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. I've got so much on my mind. I'm trying to start my business and now I have to learn how to use QuickBooks. I tell them, let's take it down a notch. Let's back up the truck, and let's go to something simple like a spreadsheet. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is my spreadsheet that I give out for free right now to anyone who wants it. And that is why, because there are so many people who are overwhelmed thinking about one more thing to learn, one more thing to figure out. And of course, QuickBooks, their advertising, they always say it's simple. And they make it sound like all you have to do is buy it and it's magical. It'll do its own thing. And for some people, it is simple to set up and simple to use. But if that's not your thing, then it's not going to be simple to you. So seriously, I've been doing this for 25 years, and you can't believe the number of QuickBooks messes and setups that I've had to go back and fix for people. And hey, I love doing that. But I hate the stress that it puts on the business owner who's trying to figure this stuff out. And the money, it costs a lot of money to have someone like me fix that stuff and like back it up and redo it for you. So my whole point is, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Just because 15 people tell you QuickBooks, yay, QuickBooks, or FreshBooks, or Peachtree, or whatever, you don't have to do that. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed making that decision, then all you have to do is stop and say, wait a minute, grab my free spreadsheet, or any spreadsheet, make your own if you're a spreadsheet expert, I don't care. But just use a spreadsheet to get started And that's something, that's my next point that I want to make for people, is that even if you have someone who is going to prepare your taxes, even if you have a CPA who does your taxes, even if your best friend's mother's cousin does taxes or does bookkeeping or does whatever, if you have someone's going to help you, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't use something like a spreadsheet like this to keep track yourself and to compile information that will then go to someone else. Or even if you do want to use QuickBooks, or you know you should use QuickBooks or FreshBooks or Peachtree or whatever it may be, 6 months from now, this is still a great place to start. This is still the best place to start learning how the numbers work, putting them in order, taking all those receipts, like the boxes of receipts, and getting them in order, and then listing them, and then do 1 month at a time, then being able to go, okay, I can see this was my income, this was my expenses, this is my net income for the month, that kind of thing. Sorry, just had a funny noise going on over there. It's my printer. It's going through a thinking something or other. So anyway, let's keep going. So that is my spiel about choosing a system, and just a couple more things about choosing a system that I know people are going to want to know. One thing that it's kind of a cutoff point, I guess I should say, as to where I feel like it's best to go to a software program, like that dividing line between, okay, do I use just a simple spreadsheet, or do I really need absolutely to start out with a software program? So a couple of things. A big thing, in my opinion, is inventory. If you are someone who is selling a physical product and you need to track inventory, or even just sales tax on your sales, a lot of it. If it's a very small sales at this point, you can easily start out with a spreadsheet, and I'm actually going to address that in one of my customizations I'm going to do for one of my lucky winners. I'm going to talk about putting sales tax into the spreadsheet. But if you're someone who's selling a ton of stuff and you have a bunch of different things you need to keep track of, and you need to keep track of a lot of sales tax or multiple taxes, like if you're in a city, like I'm in Michigan, so I'm gonna throw out Detroit, or maybe Lansing, I'm not sure, but Detroit for sure has a city tax, and a state. They have the state tax, and then there's actually, I think, another tax. Or like the state of New York. If you live in New York City, like, you better just start out with a software program. Let me just tell you. I have a client that has business in New York, and an employee that lives in New York City, and we just talked about this in Business Numbers Academy last month when we had our group call, and it's insane. The different taxes you have to keep track of in the state of New York and the city of New York City, is crazy, believe me. So anyway, I digress. The point is, if you have to keep track of much sales tax or different types of sales taxes, local taxes, I suggest just you really need a software program that's going to help you keep track of that stuff. It gets out of control really quickly. So you want to start right out with a good system, and unfortunately a spreadsheet is not the place to do it. So if you're someone that is using like Dubsado because you like projects, oh. Okay, we're still recording. Let's see. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. It looks like our Facebook Live went down, but I'm going to keep recording here in Zoom, and then I'll have to post it to Facebook later. Okay, guys. So anyway, if you are someone who is using, for example, Dubsado, because you like the project management side of it and being able to progress bill on big projects to your client, that's awesome. But, and I don't know this for sure, I don't think Dubsado keeps track of sales tax or multiple sales taxes. If they do, that's awesome. If they don't, you need to tie Dubsado in with something like FreshBooks, QuickBooks, Peachtree, something bigger that will help you keep track. Like I said, it gets out of control really quickly. So that's enough about choosing a system and spreadsheet versus software and all that fun stuff. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to looking at my spreadsheet and how to customize it. So the first thing that's going to happen when you sign up and fill in the opt-in page from the link that I provide to people for my free spreadsheet, you're going to go to the link and here's what you're going to get. So it's from 2018 because that's when I created it. You're going to get this initial copy of it. But what you want to do is first you want to customize it to be the way you want. You want to make it work for you, which is what we're going to do here in a couple minutes. And then you're going to want to make copies. So I'll show you after the first customization I do, then I'll show you how to make a master copy that you can keep for yourself. But the first thing you want to do when you come to this link is you want to go to File and you want to make a copy. So let's see, do I actually want to make a copy? Sure, I'll make a copy. So now it's going to pop up for me in another window, I think, hopefully. Yeah, and so this is what should happen for you. Now it says copy of master copy. So this is your copy now, and you're going to customize it to be exactly the way you need it. And then you are going to, just trying to make sure my internet's still working. Let's see if we can go live again. I'm just going to, okay, let's see. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to get off track here. Okay. I'm going to pause. Okay, guys, we're back. We're doing our first customization. Let's see. Okay, so I already explained about making a copy. That's what we're working on, is a copy. And we're now going to customize it to one particular business, one of my winners that filled out my Google form. And I am going to look at the information on that first business. So I'm not going to say the business name in the recording. I'm just going to talk about the business, the type of business that it is, and then I'm going to get in touch with them after the fact, because not everybody wants their name shared all over in videos like this. So, all right. So the first business that I'm going to customize for is a dog training business. And we are going to, so for example, this first page is kind of a summary page for you. You want to fill in the year that you're working on. And in this case, we're going to, work on 2019. So you would fill in all of this information based on your business. This is where you keep track of estimated tax payments that you make. And this is basic information about your business. So this is all just kind of a summary about your business that your person, whoever prepares your taxes, this is basic stuff they're going to want to know, that they're going to need to know. And so this is just kind of where I put it on this first page for you. So this is all very self-explanatory. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to January and we're going to customize January. Okay, so this just has some stuff filled in on it that I've filled in under different trainings in my Business Numbers Academy. We look at the sheet, and this is just stuff I've thrown in as examples. So I'm going to clear it out really quick. And actually, that's probably a good way to kind of explain in the spreadsheet as far as clearing information from cells that you don't want. And for some reason, it's not going to let me, so that's lovely. Of course, just because I'm trying, there we go. Okay, I had to hit backspace. So you highlight what you want to get rid of and you hit backspace and it's gone. So this is the income section right here, and down here is the expense section. I'll go ahead and highlight. You can see I'm clicking and dragging, and I'm just going to highlight what all I want to get rid of. And then I'm going to hit backspace. So what that does is it gets rid of the details in those cells, but it does not get rid of the formatting of the cells, like the column names. It doesn't remove the actual columns or the rows, just gets rid of the typed in information. So in this spreadsheet, I have it preset by month, okay? Have it set up for every month. And then, oops. Yeah, and then I have set up different columns. And so these are just different ones that we've done during Business Numbers Academy, where we have added in different things different companies need. So we're going to change all this to match this dog training business that I'm customizing for. So this is the sales section. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to change, so boot camp, this is all stuff from me. I'm going to change it for dog training. And I'm going to put, I'm just going to assume that there are just a couple of sales categories needed. One-on-one dog training and group training. And then I'm actually going to go with one-on-one on-site dog training. Okay, so here's some stuff about formatting the different things. So like this one right here, it's too long. So we want it to wrap and make it fit so we can see the whole heading, right? So you click it, and then you've got different choices up here on the formatting bar. We want text wrapping. And see here, this little picture, that means to roll it down to the next line. See when I click it? Now it fits, just like this one fits and this one fits. Now, we don't need all of these headings anymore, so we're going to get rid of all of those. Okay? Now, if you add a column over here, say we were going to add one more, I don't know, some other kind of customized dog training. You want to put this same formatting, all these lines, make it look good. What you would do is highlight what you want, and then you have to go up here again on your formatting bar, and you've got these little borders. You have to click it, and you have to tell it, what do you want? You want inside, outside, one line, two line? We want the whole thing. So we click the whole thing, and now it has added all of these boxes so that borders on each cell, so it looks nice and neat. However, we don't need any of that, so we're going to get rid of it. So now to get rid of those borders, we're going to go back and we're going to click this, no borders. So now we're back to, whoops, but now I lost my formatting on the right, so I need to fix that. There. So now we're all filled in again. All right, so all the formulas are already in here. If you click in the box, you can see I've already had it set up so that it adds this whole column, so that this one adds this whole column, this one adds this whole column, and so on. So what you want to do when you're recording your income, so for example, if you need to add lines or delete lines, if you wanted to make it, maybe you only use 4 lines a month, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't want all the extra lines in there. You can highlight how many ever, 1 or more. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Go back one. Okay, so for some reason, there we go. Nope, not working. Okay, so this is the undo button right here. If you've never met the undo button, here it is. Nice to meet you. Okay, so it's supposed to be letting me highlight. For some reason, it is not. There. Okay, so if I want to delete a whole bunch of lines right out of here, just like that, I highlight them, just like I just did. Click and drag on the left over here. Okay, and then right click and delete rows. It says delete rows 11 through 17. So if I delete them, there they're gone. Now it just compacted this down. If you don't need all those extra lines and you want to get rid of them just to kind of compact, make everything look nice, that's how you can do it. If you want to insert them back in, again, click, highlight. If you want to add 3, 5, 6, 7 rows, how many ever, I've just highlighted 6, right click, insert 6 above or insert 6 below. In this case, it doesn't matter because I don't have any data in here. If I had data like down here or up here, I could put the lines either above or below it. And just keep in mind that, so I'm going to go insert 6 above. If it's wrong, if you click, oh, insert 6 above, just go up and go undo, and it'll undo what you just did. Start over and put them where you want them. Not a big deal. Okay, so the big thing is you want to watch your formulas. Normally when you're deleting rows, it's not a big deal. It'll adjust this formula for you, but you might have to fix it sometimes, you know, depending on if you do it a little wonky. Something goes wonky and you need to fix your formula, you click in the cell and then you can just go up here and you can fix it this way, or you can completely redo it. So we don't have time on this training. We're already a half hour in. I don't have time in this training to go into all the different kinds of formulas and such. And so I'm not going to do that right now. These are the kinds of things that we dig into deeper in Business Numbers Academy. So if you need additional training, additional help with working on these spreadsheets and doing this kind of stuff, then you need to look at Business Numbers Academy. I love it. It's amazing. It's a great, affordable way. It's a group program for business owners to learn and understand how to, whether it's this side of it, the spreadsheet side, or the software side, it's all about all the bookkeeping and understanding it and using the numbers to project and look to the future and make your business grow. It's a very empowering way. Knowing your numbers is a very empowering way to grow your business. So, and that's what it's all about, right? So we can only do so much on a free training. Only have so much time, and you're only going to listen for so long, right? So we're going to keep moving on. So we're working on this dog training business, customizing the sheet. Let's see here. So we've got one-on-one dog training, group training, and then we've got one-on-one on site. So that might involve travel to someone's home. This would maybe be travel or people coming to their site, their business for the training. Okay, so let's grab a drink of water. And okay, so to record the income, it depends on how you get paid, how you're going to record the income. So if you have clients that you're invoicing, so this is kind of another area where you may or may not need to move into more of a software-based system. So if you have lots of clients that you are invoicing to pay you later, or maybe you invoice them a bulk amount at the beginning and then they make payments, or you need to do recurring payments, that kind of thing, looking at a software program to track who owes you what when is something you might want to consider, because you can only do so much with a spreadsheet. And if you have a lot of people that you're trying to keep track of whether they've paid you or not, it can get out of control really fast, right? So, but let's just look at, for example, in the dog training business, let's say she takes all payments by cards. Maybe she, we'll make an assumption that she takes all payments by card and not by check or cash. People have to pay in advance online when they sign up for training. Let's make that assumption, or we'll make that assumption in regard to group training. Okay, so for example, if people are paying, if she is accepting payment by Stripe for credit card and maybe PayPal or something like that, you don't have to record every single transaction in detail, because it's just not needed in some situations. So if you do have a lot of people that you want to keep track of, that they bought whatever from you and who they are and their address and their phone number and their email and their 3 different dogs' names, that's more than a spreadsheet really is designed for. Sure, you could make a spreadsheet do that, but it's going to be very confusing, in my opinion. You need something more like a software program, like QuickBooks. And I always say QuickBooks because that is what I know, and I've been using it for 25 years. You can use any software program that you choose to use. It doesn't have to be QuickBooks. So, for example, let's just assume that this is a startup situation. Let's go with, okay, so let's just say she's recording her sales for January, and she's going to record all of her credit card payments received for the whole month all at one time. So all you have to do is record the end of the month date. Customer, we're just going to put in monthly, we'll say Stripe credit card sales. So, and then what is it for? If it was all for group training, we'll put in $500 in group training sales. If it was for, let's say, you look at it and some of it was for one-on-one dog training, $250 was for dog training and $250 was for group training. Okay, you want to split that up because you want to keep track of the different types of sales so you can see later how you're doing. Are you doing great with dog training one-on-one dog training? Are you doing great with group training? Maybe they're both going great. That's awesome. But you want to be able to look at that and say, geez, my January was really down for one-on-one dog training sessions. I wonder why that is. Maybe I shouldn't even offer it in January. Maybe I should only offer it in the summer. You know, that kind of thing. That's how you use those numbers to plan for the future. And we just had this discussion in Business Numbers Academy last week on a live call we did. We actually talked about a specific business, and it was actually a type of business, like a golf training business. I don't want to say golf training, doesn't sound right. Coaching, golf coaching. So the we quickly came to the determination that she can do indoor training for golf in the winter. I'm in Northern Michigan. This person is in Michigan as well. But it's not what people are thinking about. They're not thinking about playing golf and learning and growing their golf game and making their golf game better in January. They're just not. They're the weather doesn't really, it's not conducive to golf. And it's just not what people are thinking about. They're thinking about other things, downhill skiing and snowshoeing. So anyway, it helped her to hone in and realize that she needs to do something else in her business, either to promote that more and get people interested in it, or just maybe not even put forth the effort to bother with it in the winter months, in the hardcore part of the winter, January, February. So just an example of one of the things that we do in Business Numbers Academy, where we get into it more in depth and look at the numbers and what you can do with them. Okay, so next we're going to record PayPal sales. Okay, and same thing, we can just go monthly PayPal sales. And again, you break it down to what it is. Maybe it was $500 in group training and one-on-one on-site dog training, $500. Okay, so my point is, you don't have to list every single transaction unless you want to, or unless you need the details. And if you do need a lot of details, again, a software program is more what you need. The nice thing about a software program like QuickBooks is that you can put in all your customer information and you can keep track of all those demographics about that customer. And you can have all that history and look back and see and easily look up. You can use it like a customer database for sure. And you can easily look up a customer and go, oh, this guy, oh yeah, his 3 dogs are blah, blah, blah. That's their names. So you can be personal with him when you speak to him. How is Max doing on his leash training, and that kind of thing. But in this case, we're going to assume that maybe she's just starting out. Maybe she just doesn't have a ton of things to keep track of, and we're going to go with using a spreadsheet. So let's say maybe she had 4 different customers for one-on-one dog training throughout the month, and payment required when they sign up. So or let's back that up a little bit. Let's go half down when they sign up and half after training is complete, just so I can show you a better example. So for example, let's say on January 10th of 19, she had customer A, dog owner. Okay. Oops, and I'm sorry, I forgot to fill this in. So this is your total sale. This is the total sales for the month, and this is the breakdown of those total sales. So this gives you the grand total at the end, all of your sales, and then how do they look? What's the total down here of all the different kinds of things? Okay, sorry about that. And then in the paid yes or no, of course it's paid because it was by credit card. So that only applies to when you're keeping track of individual customer sales, like I'm going to do right now. So let's say customer A, dog owner, has signed on for a $250 training package. I'm not going to put in that they have paid or not paid, because at this point it's not going to be paid in full. And they're doing one-on-one dog training, and let's say they have paid $125 of it. Now, if you want to keep track of how they paid you, you can always insert a column, and this is a good place where I can show you how to do that. So to insert a column, you're going to click up here in the top. So it highlights the whole column. Oops. I'm sorry, we don't want to insert a column. Okay, so in this situation, the way the spreadsheet is set up, if you insert a column above, it's going to insert one all the way down here, and it'll mess up how your monthly expenses look. So that is why we add columns over here to the right. So it's easier to just add over here and put payment method if you want to keep track of that. To me, not necessarily that important in this situation. If you're not keeping track of a ton, it's not really a big deal. But we will go ahead and put it in here just for the sake of showing you how to do this. So now I want to add borders like we talked about earlier, and I want all the borders so that it looks nice. Okay, so customer A, dog owner, total sale, 250. Paid, yes or no. I'm not putting that in yet because they're not paid in full. And if you want to be more explanatory here, you can say paid in full, yes or no. I'm just doing that so it'll, oh, I see. I need to fix the formatting here, so I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go up here to the text wrapping, and I'm going to click that little, there, see, just like we did earlier. So now it looks nice. All right, and then, okay, so the total sale is 250. They've only paid 125, and then we can go over here and we can say they paid by check. All right, so this way, now you know this person, customer A, dog owner, still owes you $125. And you want to make sure when you do get paid for it, that you come back and you mark it paid in full. That's important. So this is one of the ways that I'm talking about when I say a software program like QuickBooks is going to help you, because they're going to keep track. You're going to enter the sale and you're going to enter the payment, and you're easily going to be able to look and see that they still owe you 125. And when you record the balance payment of 125, it will show that for you. So it's all tracked for you in the software. And yes, overall, it's more work to set up a software program, and it's more work to use it, but it gives you more. So it gives back what you put into it, right? Okay, so here is, we'll do one more transaction on here, and we're gonna say that it's customer B, dog owner. And they have signed on for a, let's say, a long-term 6-month package of $1,000. And it's one-on-one dog training as well. And they paid by check. Okay, so now we've entered, let's say this is it for January. We can look and easily see that our total sales in January were $2,750, and that we have this breakdown right here. So these three things equal $2,750. This is the breakdown. Now you can see what you did in January for dog training one-on-one, group dog training, and on-site dog training. And you can easily see how people paid and what they paid. And I guess if you're going to use the spreadsheet to keep track of people like this who are not paying you in full, if you only have a few, sure, the spreadsheet is fine. I would add a column also called balance due. And again, we'll put the boxes in, and we'll put the borders on, and we will add a formula over here. Okay, so the balance due is going to be, I'm going to go plus the total sale minus, let's see, the amount paid, which is going to be in the breakdown. So we're going to say minus this column. Whoops, that is not what I meant to do. This. Okay, start over. The balance due is going to be plus, we'll just click this column, and then we're going to go minus this column, minus this column, minus this column, and then I'm going to hit enter, and it will calculate. So the balance due here is 0 because they don't own anything. This is the monthly stripe sales. It's the total sale minus how you broke it down over here. Okay, so we're going to then go copy. We're going to copy that, and we're going to go paste it down here. Oops, we're just going to go simple paste. And it takes that formula. You can click in each box and see that the formula right here, see that formula? it has carried it down and it has adjusted, see the letter and the line, it adjusts it for each line for you. It assumes that information, okay? And so the only one who still owes money is customer A, dog owner, because they only paid half, okay? And it would probably, to customize this a little further, to, let's see, to explain that these columns are the amount paid. So this is the total sale, and these are the amounts paid. Would probably be to say breakdown of sales and amount paid here. And then we are going to, we're going to try to align this. I'm not exactly sure how we want to align it to make it move over. There we go. And we're going to make it bold. So to do that, so all this information is in one cell right here. So I'm only formatting this one cell right here. And I made it bold. And I aligned it to the left so that it shoves it all to the left and goes right. Instead of trying to center it in there, then it moves it over here where it just doesn't really apply. Okay, it's because we're talking about this section right here. And even further, I could highlight these headings, and I think, yes, we can make the border thicker somehow or another so that they stand out a little more. How do you do that? I know you can do it. We won't spend too much time trying to figure it out. Right here, pick a thick line. Didn't work. I don't know why. We won't waste any time on this, but let's try it one more time. There, you just had to go back and tell it what ones you wanted it to be bold. So there, it just kind of makes it stand out a little more. And we could even put borders around that one, like that. There, kind of makes it tie in with it. Okay, enough about that. All right, so let's go back over here. Oh, so this heading up here too, the tax year, this pulls. See, this says welcome and how to. It pulls it from that first page so that you don't have to remember to change that. So you change it here, it changes on all the pages for you. If we go to February, see, there it is. Yeah, so let's go back to January. Okay, so we're done with our income. And I've already spent 45 minutes on this, so we're good. Okay, so let's go down and look at expenses for a dog training business. So here's the expense section. Breakdown of purchase. This is where you categorize all the different things that you have in your business. So what I've done in the initial copy of the spreadsheet that you get for free, I've just put in a bunch of different ones that kind of apply to everyone. And then you can make it how you want. Make it what applies to you. Change it to be what works for you. So if you don't have maintenance on a building, if you don't rent a building or own a building for your business, you don't necessarily need that. You can take it out. And to take it out, all you have to do is click in there in that cell, backspace, and it's gone. And you can change it to whatever you want. You can put these in alphabetical order, however you prefer them. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that, I don't know this, but I'm going to assume that this dog training business has a location that they own and that they maintain and make payments on and all that fun stuff. So we're going to leave maintenance building in here and maintenance equipment, because maybe she has different ramps that the dogs walk up on and fencing that they use out back and different equipment for training the dogs and that kind of thing. Maintenance vehicles, I'm also going to leave that. I'm going to assume she has a business company vehicle. Internet is pretty general, that everybody pretty much needs it, has it, pays for it. Meals and entertainment. Electric, we're going to assume that she owns this building, so she's paying electric on it. She's paying heat on it. We're going to assume that she goes to training classes to further her education in dog training. So we're going to keep that. Advertising and promotion, she needs that. Website, needs it. Outside services, she filled out on her form that she does not hire contractors, so I think we'll take it out. Now, when you're removing a column, you want to look at, you don't want to just delete one of these columns over here because it's going to delete this up here. Okay, so this is why I tell people to customize the sheet first for them on this first copy, and then make copies of it for the future. So for example, up here, see, we don't have anything up here to worry about deleting any of these columns. So I can go ahead and I can just click at the top, highlight the whole column, right click, and say delete column. And it's gone, and it doesn't screw up anything else. If I did that over here, like if I wanted to get rid of this blank column, and I click, it shows you what you're going to delete. So if you want to get rid of that one column down here, you're deleting the whole thing. Okay, you don't want to do that because you're going to lose your dog training column up above. You just leave it there as a blank and move everything over if you need to. So let's see what else we have. Okay, website we're leaving. Inventory, cost of goods sold, we're going to delete it because she doesn't sell products. Now some businesses might, maybe they're going to sell training harnesses, maybe they're going to sell special collars, leashes, vitamins, dog vitamins, supplements, whatever. And so in that case, you could keep this. In this situation, I'm going to get rid of it. So I've highlighted the column, delete column. Simple, simple. Bank fees, people may or may not have bank fees. I'm going to leave them in there for now. Interest on credit cards, I'm going to get rid of. Hoping and assuming she doesn't have interest on cards that she's paying, but no judgment. If she does, it can easily be added back in. And the way you would do that is the same way. You highlight where you want it, where you're going to put it, right click, and then you say insert one to the left or the right of where you are. So I would say insert one to the left, and there it is. But again, if it's over here on this side, you don't want to just add one here or delete one here because it's going to mess this all up here. You want to go over here and throw it in the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this blank one back out. Okay, so we have interest on a business loan. I'm going to leave that there and assume that maybe she has a loan on the building, whatever. And again, I'm going to customize this with her personally over the phone at some point. So I'll make it fit exactly what she needs. Software desktop, software cloud-based, we're going to leave those. Office supplies are kind of a given. Most people need office supplies one way or another. This blank column I'm going to take out. So I'm going to right click, delete, and it's gone. Furniture and equipment, I'm going to leave because this over here on this side, this is maintenance of those things. This column right here would be purchase of those things. So I'm going to leave that there because maybe she's going to have purchases of dog training equipment, maybe even office furniture, who knows. Here's another blank column I'm going to take out. Okay, so personal expenses, this column would be for personal things paid through the business. I'm going to leave it there. That would be for sole proprietors or LLCs that file as a sole proprietor. That would be what many people know as an owner's draw. And so I'm actually going to change this heading. I clicked in the box. You can see it's highlighted. And I'm actually going to change this to, whoops, owners draws personal expenses. And I'm going to make this column just a smidgen wider so that it, yeah, see, so it just, oh yeah, it still doesn't fit. I don't want to make it too wide because then it looks funny. There, owners draw personal expenses. Okay, so VA would be if you hire a VA to work with you, or it could just be outside services is what you could put in there. But if you wanted to keep track of different types of contractors, you could put outside services. So you could put, for example, you could go outside services, VA, and then you would add another column. And you could call it outside services trainer. Maybe she's going to hire an outside trainer to come work with her. Okay, and then editor, I have no idea what I meant by that. That was just an example from Business Numbers Academy that where I don't know, who knows what it applied to. I'm going to take that out. Okay, so now I want to point out too that when I was talking about deleting and adding columns and looking above and making sure it doesn't screw something up here, we have our summary over here too. So this is another thing to consider, is to look below and don't delete a column. I already knew, because I'm the one who created this, that I didn't have anything down here to worry about when I deleted these columns. But you do want to look below in any spreadsheet and make sure you're not deleting something from down here that you need to have there. Okay, so I think we have, then I have this column called notes over here. So let's record a couple of expenses before we finish up, and I will kind of show you what I'm talking about. So this is, I'm gonna bold this. Oh, it was already bold. Just doesn't look real bold to me. Okay, so this works much the way this is up here. You have your total sale and then you have your breakdown of the sales. Same idea down here in the expenses. And I'm going to do the same thing I did above just to make it look better. I am going to go up here and make it bold. My box is bold, the breakdown boxes. Oh, and it looks like I need to fix this whole column to put in our borders here, but we want to go back to a thin, we want to go back to a thin border so that it matches all of this. We only want the bold on the top. So now, see, I need to do this one bottom line on this cell. So I'm going to click just that cell, go up here, and I want my, I keep clicking the wrong one, a thick line all the way around it. There, perfect. And let's do that for breakdown of purchase too. See, I had already made this one long cell, so it's all merged together. So I should be able to just go up here and go like this. There, and now it's bold too. This helps it stand out so you can see the definition between the total area and the breakdown area. Okay, so let's record a couple of purchases. And my favorite example to show why we have the breakdown area as compared to versus the total purchase amount is going to Staples, because I love Staples. I love office supplies. What can I say? And Staples is perfect. Like, they have the snacks and the chocolate, and then they have all the fun office supplies, and they have all the tech stuff. So it's like the perfect store, in my opinion. Okay, so let's say that on January 20th, my birthday, she went to Staples. So we're going to record this purchase at Staples and payment method. How did she pay for it? I'm going to say debit card, which means it came out of her business checking account. Total purchase amount, let's say she spent $500 at Staples. I think that sounds really fun. And what did she spend it on? So my point is, this is the total purchase, 500 bucks, okay? And it can, what I'm getting at is that at Staples, that $500 could be spent on multiple categories, expenses, different types of expenses. So she could have purchased some flyers. So we're going to say she spent 125 of that 50 on, let's go 150, on advertising and promotion. And she could have bought some software. Maybe she bought QuickBooks for 100 bucks. That would be a steal if she bought QuickBooks for 100 bucks. So let's say she bought QuickBooks for 200 bucks. And she bought some office supplies for 50 bucks. And then, so what are we at? 350, 400, and let's say she bought $400, actually, or $100. Let's say $75 in equipment. Maybe she bought a new office chair, and that leaves us with 25 bucks that she bought chocolate to nibble on after she gets stressed out at work. Okay, and in the notes, what you might want to mention here would be look at the big purchases that were made and point them out in the notes, so that if you look at this transaction down the road and you go, well, what did I, $200 in software at Staples? I don't remember spending $200. Instead of going to have to dig through the receipt box and find it, you can look at the notes and see that you wrote in software equals QuickBooks. Keep it brief, because you don't want this thing to go on for 6 miles. Software equals QuickBooks. And you actually could also, so here's how you get back in that cell. I just typed and hit enter. If I want to go back, I double click in there. See, it puts me right at the end, so I can keep typing now. And then you can say advertising equals flyers or whatever. Okay, if you want to say that what the furniture was, put that in, purchase of chair. Or you could just put a simple description. You don't have to put software equals. You could just put, you know, QuickBooks, flyers, chair, chocolate, something like that. Just so that you can easily look back and be able to know quickly what you spent your money on. Okay, so you can always make this column wider as well so that you don't have anything up here for it to affect. And then you can put in a little bit better description if you want. So the next thing, let's go back over here and say on the 25th of January, she paid Consumers Electric. That's the electric company in where I'm at. And she paid it by check. And her bill was $125. Okay, so the bill was $125. Go over here to electric and put in $125. That's it. There's no other breakdown because it's all electric. Let's go with one more. Let's say she paid a handyman to come out and fix some stuff. So let's go on the 10th and say handyman Jack. Ooh, Handy Manny Jack. That's even funnier. Handy Man Jack. She paid, let's say by debit card, paid him $500. Let's go something different, $700. Okay, and let's say $350 of it was working on the building and $350 was working on equipment. So there's the breakdown. I think you get my point. So basically, you're going to take all those receipts for January. You're going to be looking through them and see what exactly you spent, what you paid, whatever, what you paid out. Sorry, lost my train of thought for a minute there. And you're going to list them in here by date. Okay, so my biggest suggestion to you is if you have to go back and do a whole bunch of months at once, then just pick one month. Don't analyze it. Don't try to do a whole year's worth at a time. We're already in November. And if you haven't done 2019 at all, just go back to January. Or if you'd rather start more recent, start with October. Sort them out. Income, expenses, and just throw them in here. They don't have to look pretty. You know, you don't have to sit and analyze every receipt. Just throw them in here and get them in here so you can get it done. And that will take a huge weight off your shoulders. Okay, so let's go look at the bottom line. We've now entered some expenses and some income, and this tells us our summary from above, $27.50, total sales, $27.50. Monthly expenses, $13.25. That is our total from here. So this right here, this is kind of a double check for you to see that you broke things down right. This is your category totals. It's adding up all these lines across here for you. And total monthly expenses is the total of these right here. So now you can look at that easily and see these should match. They do. You haven't missed breaking down anything, but basically it carries down your total here and it throws you monthly net income for the month of January. Based on what you have recorded, you made $1,425. So this is the basics of how to record the income and expenses in the sheet, how to customize it to work for you. Now, what you can do once you have these headings here, okay, and these headings here looking just the way you want them for your business, okay, you can, the easiest thing to do is to copy and paste. Let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Okay. Okay, so this is the way February looks now. Looks very different than the way January looks, right? So let's see if we can just, I don't know, this may or may not work for me right now. Okay, so I started in the left corner and I highlighted the entire sheet. Whoops, and I probably screwed up because I probably missed my summary. Yeah, we need to start over here. Okay, I'm actually going to start right here. I click and I drag all the way to the right and then all the way to the top. So the entire thing is copied. Right click, and I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to go over to to February, and I'm going to click right up here in the front top left right here. Let's see if it works. And I'm going to click, let's see, do I want to just paste? Paste values only. I haven't done this in a while, sorry. Paste column width, paste formula. Let's just paste, see what happens. There it is. I think it worked. What I didn't want it to do was insert it and keep all the old crap with all the new stuff above it. Almost called it crap. Okay, so I think it worked. There's January. We go to February and it now looks all pretty and nice and orderly like January does. Yep. Hey, we want to do this to every month now. Okay, do the same thing to April. So what it is doing though, that we have to do, we have to physically change ourselves, is change the month. Okay. Change March. March to read March. April. May, we still have to paste in. So we're pasting that in, and then we're going to type in May here. Hopefully this works all the way across the board. There's June. Change it to be June. I know this is boring for you to watch, but you'll see the end result. July. August. September. Yes, I'm going to make you go through the whole year with me because I want to show you the end. Okay, we're almost there. October. Oops. November. We're almost there, guys. Okay, so now you see down here, we have to click these arrows over here to move over. December. All right. Oh, I have to paste it in and then change it to December. Okay, so we're going to call it good right there. And then, so we have all these other pages down here. We don't have time to deal with this and discuss this right now, other than we're going to look at yearly summary. Wait for it to come up. There. Okay, so what it's doing on the yearly summary, I have it all set up to pull in income and expenses from all the months. So you can easily, once you have this sheet filled in, you can easily come here to the yearly summary and look and see your quarterly numbers. And then, so here's first quarter to date. It's going to add up all your income and show you how much you've made in the first quarter and your expenses and your net income in the first quarter. These are important numbers to know. And then it's going to do the same thing for the second and third quarter. As you go through the year and you're filling this in, you can easily look at quarterly numbers. So important, mostly for getting with your tax person and figuring out how much you need to be paying in quarterly income tax payments. You can easily say to your tax person, hey, you know, there's other things that are going to come into play here, depending on your tax situation, but in your business, the additional things that are going to come into play are going to be like home-based office. If you have mileage, that kind of thing, that's going to come off of your net income. But generally speaking, you can say to your tax person, hey, I made $4,200 in the first quarter. What should I pay on my business for estimated income tax for the first quarter based on that? And then they can tell you. And it's not going to be exact, but it's going to be close. And at least you know in general what to pay. Okay, so now if we scroll over, all the way over, as you go through, it's going to also give you yearly totals. So when you're in the middle of the third quarter and you've got it all filled in through July, you'll be able to look and see your annual income so far year to date and expenses and net income. It's amazing. I love it. Okay, so now we have made this all pretty for every month. Let's go back. Okay, so like I said, we have some other tabs down here, spending audit. These are all things that I've done training sessions on in Business Numbers Academy. If you want to get in depth, more in depth in your bookkeeping, getting this stuff figured out, getting it set up, and being able to use these numbers so you can project into the future, plan your business for 2020, ask me about Business Numbers Academy, check with me. It is amazing, and I'm going to offer a special deal until Monday. So if you want to get into Business Numbers Academy, just shoot me a message and let me know. It is amazing. It's an amazing way for business owners to share the cost of having access to somebody like me to help you, train you. We do monthly calls, but since it's a group program, it brings the price down for you versus what you would pay to work with me one-on-one. And you still get personal attention on those monthly calls and through email and posting in our private Facebook group. So let me know if you want to know more about that. And I think that's it for the spreadsheet right now, other than, oh, right here, video tutorials. This tab right here has a link to 3 different videos, very short, quick, simple 10-minute videos on just quick ways and things to do with the spreadsheet as far as how to fill it out. Nowhere near in depth is what I've just done for the last hour and 10 minutes. So this is what you get when you sign up for the free spreadsheet. All right, guys, I think we are done for now. And thank you for watching. And this video is going to be available for 24 hours. Then it's going into my Business Numbers Academy vault. So if you need access to it, if you want more training, if you want access to me and all the trainings that are in the Business Numbers Academy vault, you just need to let me know and I will get you a link to check it out more and see if it's something that will work for you that you want to sign up for. I hope to talk to you and see you again very soon. See you. Bye.